Hey guys, so today we are looking at literary themes and looking at how they can help us like think more deeply about our texts, whether it be the short story that we're reading or your social issue book clubs or books or another book, or movie or whatever. So for me, the way I always remember theme, not always, but I've always like said it reminds me of a bumper sticker or it's something that we can apply to our lives and you see it on Tumblr or Pinterest or whatever in this beautiful like picture. The other thing that you can always think of is like a pop song. So popular songs are popular because the words aren't super complicated, but they're meaningful. So a lot of people can connect to them. So the one I always think of, I'm a big Beatles fan, is All You Need Is Love from the Beatles. And I feel like, yes, it's very common and it's overdone, but it is a theme that you can apply to a lot of your lives. Like I know like if I'm having a bad day, like all I need is the people that I love to make me happy, right? So like looking at songs that have a good meaning really are going to help you come up with common themes. Okay. So, what we're going to think about is looking at more themes and being able to apply a big theme to different stories. So, it's not necessarily what we've always done with theme. We've always taken our stories and come up with a common theme. What I think is really interesting is that a lot of us pick the same themes anyway. And so, looking at a specific theme and then like taking that theme and putting it to the story, I think is going to be something that's going to be it's going to click pretty quickly with you guys because you guys are pretty good at finding theme. So first of all, we're going to look specifically at the theme. It's hard to be yourself. Okay, this theme is very common. Like we see this in a lot of stories and a lot of movies. Brainstorm for a second, okay?
I didn't get that.
Ooh,
Could you try?
my watch is going off. Think for a second about different characters who might change themselves for a social status or relationship status. This shows up in so many movies and books, right? So I'm thinking specifically of the movie She's All That. Now, I love the 90s, so it's a 90s movie, but I think a lot of you might have seen this. This girl completely changes who she is to fit in with a popular crowd, okay? Because it wasn't fun to be herself because it was hard on her because she got bullied and stuff, right? So, a lot of these themes show up in so many stories and so many movies and books and things like that. So, just a reminder, this might be something that you want to write down. Themes are statements. They're life lessons that we can apply to our lives, and they do not include character names. So this right here, this line right here are things that we need to keep in mind as we're coming up with themes. Okay, as we develop themes as we get older, they do not have character names and they are statements. Okay. All right. So here's some common ones that you might have seen. All you need is love. It's hard to be yourself. Even when things are tough, you have to keep trying. Change is hard, but unavoidable. If you Google, there are like Google common literary themes, there will be a ton. Just make sure some people, when they think of theme, and usually when you're younger, you think of theme as like a one word. As you get older, themes are thematic statements. So it's a sentence. So if you're looking up common literary themes, maybe even common literary theme statements, it's going to help you because it needs to be said in a sentence as you get older. Okay. So, our goal today is looking at common themes from literature and songs and movies and things like that. We can come up with new insights to the issues that the certain groups are facing in their stories and in their life. So, like I said, it's kind of the opposite of what we have been doing, but it's going to allow you to think deeper about your story and what they're learning. So, you're thinking about the theme first, okay, and then how you can apply it to the story or to the characters in your story. Okay, so we read this story this week, Inside Out, and we're first going to look at the theme, All You Need Is Love. Okay, so think about everything that he is dealing with. So if you think back to him wearing his dad's hat, right? Even though his brother says not to, he still wants to like show his love for his family. He says his dad always wears his hat. And so him having that hat to remind him of dad, I feel like that really shows the love that he has for his family. Okay, so that theme, All You Need Is Love, though it's not like bam in your face from the story, you can take that theme and learn a little bit more about Francisco and kind of how he needs that family's love or family support in the hat, right? While he's on the bus and dealing with all these struggles. Okay, now it's not always going to be clear and cut because we can push back and say, well, it's not the best for the story because that clearly isn't all he needs because he still feels anxious. He still gets a headache. And so maybe we can fight back and say, well, sometimes love just isn't enough, right? Maybe he needs more. Okay. Maybe not all you need is love. Okay. So you can take these themes and you can learn so much more about social issues and what the characters might be going through and what they're feeling. So be willing to think around the theme. Okay, this I agree with, this I don't agree with, but think about, okay, there's going to be a theme that's going to be awesome, and there's going to be some that I see it, and I can learn that yes, he loves his family, but it's definitely not all he needs, right? All right, so take a second, and I want you to take the theme, it's hard to be yourself. Okay, like I talked about with the movie She's All That. It's hard to be yourself and apply it to Inside Out, the story with Francisco. Okay, pause the video. What new thinking can you get because you are looking specifically at it's hard to be yourself? Pause. All right, hopefully you've unpaused after you've written this down. If you look at the theme, it's hard to be yourself, you learn more about Francisco, okay? You understand why he has all of his struggles. He's being himself, but he's losing his friends, right? He's kind of picked on. He doesn't feel confident. He doesn't really know what's going on in school with him being himself. So all of his struggles essentially are coming from him being himself, right? So he's probably trying to figure out how he can grow and how he can change so that he can adapt to this new environment, the environment that he's a part of, okay? So this character, Francisco, he seems uncomfortable to be himself, right? Now, when he has his hat on, he feels better. When he's talking to his family, when he's talking to his brother, though he's not like loving what his brother's saying, he's glad that he has his family around him, right? He says at one point that he's looking out the window thinking about if he was with his dad, right? And so when he's comfortable to be himself is when he's daydreaming. That's when he doesn't get that headache anymore, is because he's finally like, okay, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to just sit and daydream in Spanish and kind of have some me time. And when he's finally comfortable, his problems seem to go away, right? So looking at these themes gives you like more insight onto a character, okay? Now, you could even do it better with Roberto or Arthur or Miss Scalapino, okay? Arthur, how do you think he feels? I mean, it's not kind of him to leave Francisco alone, but how do you think Arthur feels when he doesn't really go around Francisco because he's afraid that he's going to get in trouble? I mean, it probably doesn't feel great, right? So take these common themes and apply it to different characters, and you can learn so much if it helps you think really deeply about these characters and these issues. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do now, you're going to add into your notebook. So I'm going to show you this chart. These ones we did with the color boxes in class this week. And what I want you to do is add this. Now, so you already have this in your chart. This also can look like this. We are going to analyze how common themes fit or don't fit to get new insights into group-related issues, okay? So here you go. Here's our common themes. All you need is love, be yourself, change is hard, okay? Keep dancing around here. So add this to your chart. Feel free to pause and add it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to continue our work on theme. Now, it's a little bit tricky because it's kind of hard to give you a theme because some of them might be a very big stretch, okay? So we still want you to pick a common theme of your choice. And what we want you to do is think about that theme that fits best with your text. So whether it be all you need, so I mean, feel free to use these 4. All you need is love. It's hard to be yourself. Even when things are tough, you have to keep trying. Change is hard but unavoidable. Even just picking from those 4, one of them is going to fit well with your book and it's going to give you more insight. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a races response in the writing section of Schoology. And what we want you to talk about is how that theme fits best with your text and how that shows insight to a character's issues or life lessons that a character learned, okay? So here are some thought prompts that might help you with some sentence starters. So again, feel free to pause, rewind, put these up. You can copy this in your notebook. You don't have to, but it might be a good thing. These are good sentence starters, okay? So a possible theme that might connect to the story is, and then put the theme, right? One way the theme connects is, right? This theme is true for either the part of the book or the character because, and explain. So these are just really good ways to push yourself to kind of give you a sense of guidance talking about theme in your book and a specific common theme. Okay. So when you're done with your writing and you click submit, what we're going to have you do is return to your social issues books and read and jot about how the themes are showing up in the text. So we'll look in your notebooks and see where we're at. But the graded piece, now this is going to be for a grade. The graded piece is in Schoology, and it should look like this. And it says, determine what you think is the most important themes from your social issue book club's book. Okay. Then with 2 pieces of evidence, show how that theme develops throughout the text. And I know you're going to be in different parts of your book, but you should be a decently chunked way at this point. In your explanation, show how the theme is important to the lives outside of books. So why is this important to your character? Why is it important to social groups? Why is it important for us to kind of see why this theme is critical? The one thing that I do want to make sure that you do is include the title of your book and the author, because it helps me, and it also helps your reader know what book you're reading and what you're connecting to. Okay. Same rubric. This one's going to be a mastery. We've talked about theme. We know how to do a races response. So this one's going to be a mastery. Make sure that you work hard on this. Okay. This is going to be due on Monday at the beginning of class at the absolute latest, but try to get it done sooner than later. But feel free to pause, rewind, go to this chart. Feel free to go to the other charts. Feel free to go to the common theme part. Pause, rewind, have them up on your screen. Make sure you use all of your resources to help you out, okay? Feel free to email, ask questions, and do your absolute best. Thanks, guys.